Hello everyone, welcome to part 2 of this series of looking at my custom damaged Piston Cup racers from the Dagostino 400 crash. In part 1 I reviewed or showed you these racers right here, and now we are going to move on to the other ones. So I was going to review James Clean Air in the last one. So let's move on with James Clean Air. So he has a pretty hurt expression. His eyes are closed and he looks kind of sad. I got this expression because of that scene in the movie after Manny Flavio he hit Davey Apex and McQueen drove past James, and this was his face right here. And he has no wheels. There's a dent right there. And you can see that I made this from a Chick Hicks because you can kind of see a 6 there. And also, there's a lot of hits on this side because if you remember, this is the side where he got hit the most. And it really should have been Murray Clutchburn. But if you remember, in the scene where Chick says, "Get through that, McQueen," you can see Murray in this shape, but when it changes to a bird's eye view and Bob's has a huge crash behind the leaders, it changes into James Clean Air. And so this is where it gets most of his hits from. And yeah, he's pretty damaged here too. And I don't think this is the one. I think this is one of the ones that Four Wheel Drive 7 didn't actually make. Along with Dale right here and Murray. And he also didn't make, what I'm going to show up right now, Bradford Rutherford. And he is the one who started it all. Was the slight bump from Chick Hicks, causing this spin out control and start all this. So, as you can see, his damage is a little more contained, because he's not dented or anything, because this is a plastic car, and every single Piston Cup racer here that's damaged is a plastic car, did not have any dents, because metal will bend, while plastic will just break. So yeah, he has a pretty, it's the same expression, kind of. And also just recently, I changed the expression of my actual Winford to make him angry. Because I didn't want them to have the same exact expression taken from the damaged versions. The same thing happened with two more, which I'm not going to show yet, because that would be spoilers. But I think you have a good idea of what they are. So his tire's a little bit bent out of place, and there's a huge mark from Murray Clutchburn. There's the hit from Chick Hicks. That's just a normal paint chip. And this is a hit from Ernie Gearson. And that's from Ralph Carlo. Yeah. And you can kind of see him in one shot where Davey Apex and Kevin Racing Tire run into Brush Kerber. You can see him for a slight second. Just filling your minds with knowledge. Sorry. Let's move on to Billy Oil Changer. He's actually smiling because of the scene when he slides up with Claude Scruggs and he's smiling for a second before bam. By the way, this isn't really the best way of describing it because it wasn't Chuck who hit him with James, it was Hall in gas. So he's smiling and the smile's not the best. This tire's a little bent out of shape. And he's got a bunch of scratches on him. There's a hit from Johnny Blamer, and there should be some blue somewhere, but I can't seem to find it. Oh, there's the hit from James and Hall. There's no hit from Ryan Shields here, and I thought he hit Ryan. No, he didn't hit Ryan in the wreck. That was Johnny. Now, moving on. I'm going to roll the dice with Greg Candyman here. He kind of looks like the leakless model because the spoiler is longer, but he has that weird mustache. And grills are supposed to represent mustaches, but they don't have like bushy mustaches as they look like. But I know in the movie they're metal mustaches, like for chick hicks. Okay, I'm getting off track. Where were we? Oh, yes. So here's Greg Candyman. He has a worried expression. And I think this one turned out really well. This is one of my favorites. And Greg Candyman already is one of my favorite Piston Cup racers. So yeah, this must be from like Ryan Shields or something. And there's some ash. This thing right here. Maybe... Probably Brush Kerber, maybe. And this is from Kevin Racing Tire, maybe. Or maybe Krusty Rotor. There's some purple from Lee Refkins. And there were some marks on the roof, but that's just normal paint chips, I suppose. This was made from a stunt racer, Chick Hicks. So that's why the tires look a little odd. Oh, and this Dale here was made from a stunt racer, Lightning McQueen. And if you watch the annual Boring Races race, then you will notice that one of the announcers is the stunt racer, the King, with small eyes. Now let's move on to... Oh man. I'll explain this one. This is Dirksen Dagostino, as you know. Had that rhymed. His wheel just came off today. Just the day I'm making this. This wheel just came off. Now it's really unfortunate because only one car lost a wheel in this race. And I think you already know who it is. So yeah, this is Dirksen Dagostino. He's screaming. He has a big dent right there. Well, it's not big. There's some purple from Lee Refkins, probably, most likely. And then there's a bunch of like marks here. Most of his damage is in the back. This part, like, wow. Oh, right here. There's some blue here. But that doesn't make any sense. Did he hit someone that was blue? Maybe he hit Ralph Carlo? No, that's too dark of a blue. I don't know. Must have, like, added that in for detail. If I do remember, I'll tell you. But he probably hit Misty Motorcraft, maybe. Now let's move on to Floyd Movie Hill, one of the oldest ones as well. Second oldest, in fact. I love it when this tire is like that. This side right here looks pretty accurate if you look at the movie. Because if you remember, when Slider Petrosky hit him, his side was looking kind of like that, but not dented at all. I like to believe that it got dented when Slider hit him, even though he hit him right here. And the tires is a little loose. There's some scratches on the roof right there. And there is some marks of blue there, and there's a part that's shaved off, and the spoiler's bent a bit. And there's some red and green Christmas colors. So yeah, there's Floyd Movie Hill. Now let's move on to Eugene Kobreski. You probably don't know this, but well, if you've seen that stop motion I made a few I'd say days ago, I actually have the real Eugene Kobreski, and I only need one more Piston Cup racer to complete my collection, and that one is Sage Vanderspen. Okay, here he is. There's the real Eugene Kobreski. So once I got him for my birthday, I changed the custom into a damaged Eugene Kobreski. There's a lot of green on him from James Clean Air, even though James has a tiny bit of pink on him from Eugene. There's a lot of scratch marks on him, and we decided to bend him up, and yeah, there's hints of leakless, because I made this from a leakless. No, Claude Scruggs. I hate calling them by their sponsor names because it's unoriginal. So yeah, I think I'm going to do a part 3 for this series. The final part of the series. We'll be doing these 5. So, bye.